This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. That is Joe Schad. Joe, you got COVID or are you good?
I do not have COVID. We do have some breaking news that you're going to get as I tweet it. Jalen Waddle is going on the COVID-19 list for the Miami Dolphins.
Ooh, wow. That is breaking news right now. Oh, man, Jalen Waddle.
COVID. This is a problem. This is a real problem. Devon Holland was a problem. Jalen Waddle is a huge problem. I mean, other than Tua Tagovailoa, who would you less likely be without? Who would you prefer? I mean, name another guy, right? I mean, you got Tua, Jalen Waddle, and who?
No, Jalen Phillips. I mean, it has to be, Holland's already out. It has to be something like that, Gesicki. But Waddle is the most important player outside of Tua on offense, and he's the most consistent and reliable receiver on offense. He's the guy that Tua has relied on over and over and over again, and he has come through. I have bragged for weeks now at how impressed I am with Jalen Waddle because he is playing like he's a 5-year veteran. I had OJ McDuffie on last week, and I told him, I said, Juice, he plays like you. He's doing all the stuff. And Juice goes, well, he's got one more gear than I did. And I go, yeah. I know that. But I am so impressed at the maturity of Jalen Waddle and the fact that he has taken on all this responsibility. And this is major news, Joe, because
Big O, who can do what Jalen Waddle does?
Nobody.
Devontae Parker and Preston Williams are catch and fall receivers.
Right. Yeah.
Lynn Bowden is on injured reserve.
Yeah.
Jakeem Grant, whether you like him or not, he's at least an explosive player with burst. He's been traded. All right. Albert Wilson, unfortunately, doesn't look like the player we hoped he was going to return to be in the spring. He doesn't look as dynamic. What are the Dolphins going to do here? How about Kirk Merritt?
Yeah. Well, but Joe, here's where it's a bad thing and it's not so bad. Okay, because I'm not going to say it's a good thing because it can't be a good thing missing Waddle. But here's where I want to shed some light and help the folks out there. Tua has learned to play in chaos, something that most quarterbacks struggle to do. He plays every week with a line that can't block, a running game that isn't effective. Most of his receivers aren't reliable anyways. Outside of Waddle, now I guess now the coach will be forced to play Mac Hollins more. Thank God.
The problem with Hollins, Parker, and Preston is they're all similar body types.
No, I'm not.
I'm agreeing with you. This is a real problem.
It is a problem. There's no doubt. But what I do like about the problem, at least, is we're not talking about a quarterback that's a mental midget. We're not talking about a quarterback that is going to go small in the moment. This is a quarterback that has shown us that has risen to the situation that he's involved in. So I think he'll find a way to adjust and do enough to at least beat the Jets. The Jets aren't a great team. And if you at least can put the ball in play to some of these guys, I think they'll hang on to the ball enough to move the ball. So I like the fact, if it was another young quarterback around the league that a lot of people are bragging about in this situation, I would be concerned. But I think Tua's done a nice job of adjusting to all the chaos. Hopefully, these guys will pick up their game and support Tua, in the game on Sunday. That's what
listen, the Dolphins have a little 5'7" speedster, Tommy Lee Lewis, that nobody's probably ever heard of. He's on the practice squad. Who knows? Maybe some random guy like Tommy Lee Lewis ends up getting the call up. What I'm concerned about here, Big O, it's hard enough to run the football if you're the Dolphins. And now they're without Myles Gaskin, Savon, Ahmed, and Phillip Lindsay in all likelihood. So then you say, well, all right, we're gonna go 5 wide. Well, now you can't go 5 wide unless it's Isaiah Ford, Mac Hollins, etc.
Right.
So what's the answer, right? Maybe tight ends. The one thing the Dolphins do have is 5 tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
So how about you line up with 3 tight ends, Duke Johnson, Malcolm Brown, right? Maybe you go 4 tight ends, Malcolm Brown, and try to run the football against the Jets. The Jets are actually decent against the run.
Oh, wait, you keep leaving out my man Matt Collins here. Matt Collins needs to be playing more
We
anyways.
like Matt Collins.
I love Matt Collins.
Matt Collins is an underrated receiver and a good player and a great leader. But he's not, Jalen Waddle.
No, I know that, but today on this team, he's my number 2 wide receiver. On this team, he's my number 2 wide receiver. He's the guy I can count on. I can't count on Parker. I can't count on Preston. Can't count on Fuller. Can't count on Wilson. I can count on that guy to line up every single week. And every time they throw him the ball, all he does is make plays. He either makes plays on special teams or as a wide receiver. I don't know how he hasn't been rewarded with more playing time. And I would imagine on the week like this, without Waddle, not that he's replacing Waddle, but damn, I'd use him at least because he's a tough sumbitch, man. I like that kid.
Now, listen, we know the Jets aren't very good and that there's no excuses. Now, I hate to say that because we said that going into the Jaguars game and the no excuses thing didn't play out very well. All right, because missing Xavier Howard and Byron Jones in that game, one of only 2 wins that Urban Meyer will ever have in NFL history. That is very embarrassing. All right, so you don't want to say no excuses, but hey, you know what? Here's an opportunity for Dolphins offensive coordinator George Godsey to show that he's actually got some answers. That and the Dolphins offense has improved a little bit since they cut Charlie Fry out of the process and sort of made it clear that it's on Godsey. So let's see what he comes up with, man. It does make it interesting. I mean, all right, let's say right now, offensive touches, Big O, top 3. You are George Godsey. Who are the top 3 guys you want in touches on Sunday? You got Duke Johnson, you got Malcolm Brown, you got Mike Gesicki, you got Devontae Parker. You got to imagine it's going to be Gesicki and Parker in some order, 1, 2.
Yes.
Let's say Gesicki, then Parker. Who's 3 in touches? Is it Duke Johnson? Is it Mac Hollins? Is it Malcolm Brown? You're the Mac Hollins guy.
Well, I've been the Mac Hollins guy for a while, and I'm pissed at them that they don't play him enough opposite him. I'm sick and tired of watching Preston Williams and Albert Wilson and all these idiots play when they should be giving Mac Hollins a lot more time opposite of Waddle. Look, you can't replace Waddle. Nobody can do what Waddle does on this team. Nobody has Waddle's talent. So now you're going to have to run a different kind of an offense. You are correct. And it's probably going to be more of a bigger receivers, more possession, those kind of things. But on the good side is you're going to have bigger bodies on the field, bigger targets for Tua. So that life should be a little easier in that sense because guys like Parker have more range, guys like Hollins have more range, guys like Gesicki have more range. And I find that always to be a positive for any quarterback out there when you have a guy that has more range that you can get him the ball.
Big O, something I just thought of. There's some Christmas presents from Amazon at the front door for sure. You got that Ring set up. It works pretty well. We got to get Ring as a sponsor.
Yes. We have Sloman's Home Security, and they have the
do they have a camera?
They have a free camera bell if you are one of our listeners. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Joe Schad.
So I'm going to have to look into that system.
Well,
and do a comparison. That could be a good choice to switch to.
Sloman's. It is the sponsor of our show. So, okay. All right. So let's
listen. Jalen Waddle.
Let's hear about any competition out there. All right, buddy.
No, we don't want that. Okay. Here's one thing I thought about. The Dolphins play at the Saints in 12 days. All right.
Yes.
A huge concern has to be Jalen Waddle will probably be cleared and feeling fine by then.
Mm-hmm.
But God forbid he's not. Right.
If he's vaccinated, he should be. If he's vaccinated, hopefully he'll be fine, which I think he is vaccinated, right? I think.
We don't have any information that would lead us to believe that he's not.
Right. So hopefully he'll get there. But you're right. If something lingers, because there's no chance he can clear this week. The only chance now, and they don't tell you, right, Joe? They don't tell you that, hey, Philip Lindsay tested negative today. If we get one more tomorrow, they don't tell you. They don't tell you until after they've tested twice, and then they'll clear them. So there's still a chance, right, that we might see one of those backs or 2 of those backs back this week, right?
Yeah, and also reportedly the NFL and NFLPA have discussed the possibility of as early as this week allowing a player who's been vaccinated and or boosted, I'm not sure about the boosted part, to return with one negative rapid test as late as Sunday morning. That would be great, in my opinion. I
Yeah.
hope that change happens. Let's let a guy who gets that negative rapid test as late as Sunday morning come back.
All right. So, Joe, players are complaining that the NFL took away daily testing, and that's why some of this has also happened. Have you heard anything that they are going to bring back daily testing? Because, you're headed down the home stretch now. Some teams are fighting for a playoff spot. This could end up costing you a playoff spot. Why not take more precautions? I think,
Big O, isn't it fascinating? Some folks, like the NFL union, the NFL Players Association, they want daily testing. And then other folks, not saying the league, but just, fans, some fans, they say, let's have no testing. They say the only reason there's all these positive tests is because we're testing. Now, there might very well be truth to that.
yeah, but that's not logic.
No, thank you
There's
for
no logic
agreeing.
to, we're testing more. That's why there's positives. So aren't we supposed to unearth the positives
We
so that
agree
way
on
we
this
get
one, Big.
more? I mean,
Yeah. We agree on this one. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say that going to daily testing or going to every other day testing is a waste of time. Certainly, you would catch more negatives and prevent some spread.
for sure.
But these things are collectively bargained, and I think the owners have to pay for this. And now I'm not saying it's a financial issue, but it's kind of a catch-22 because if you do test every day, you're going to have maybe twice as many starters out on Sunday, and I guess from the league's perspective, they don't want that.
Right. Right. By the way, Waddle is tested positive. It's not a close contact thing,
Right. If you
correct?
go on the list,
You've
that
tested
means you're
positive.
positive. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Otherwise, you don't go on the list if you're
Right.
vaccinated.
So yeah, so there's no chance Waddle will definitely be out this week. And then now we're hoping that because Lindsey and Gaskin also tested positive. So then we gotta hope that they test double negative here over the next couple of
And
days.
you may have seen this on social media. The Dolphins starting today have shifted to the virtual meetings.
Yes.
So the players will practice, but they're meeting virtually, and we'll also engage with them obviously in a virtual format, which is tough. Look, there's not a huge difference between talking to you on Zoom and talking to you in a room with masks 6 feet away. There's not a huge difference, but I do wonder and fear, like, okay, when are we getting back in the locker room? When is there going to be some semblance of normalcy? This is a second season now. Impact. I don't know if the fans understand, that the stories that we tell and the interviews that they're just not as good without
Oh, no,
the
of course not.
open locker room.
Right. Yeah. No,
I
definitely.
don't know if they get that. I don't think a lot of guys and gals get that.
I think they do. I think we see that the coverage is not as personal anymore. It's not we're not getting nearly as much insight on the human being at times because you guys aren't in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? Sure, on the flip side, we can also say maybe we're not getting as much dirt either and all that stuff. But I think we would be finding out a lot more cool stuff and more personal stuff about players if you guys were in the locker room. And obviously, I realize that because I've been in the locker room a long time also. So I know the work that you guys do every single day and appreciate it. That's why that's why I've created the only platform that actually makes money for riders.
And it is successful, and we do appreciate it. It's a good opportunity. It's funny if I type my name into Google, which we all do. Anybody who says they don't is lying. My daughter does this too. She's 9 years old. Your podcast, your video podcasts and shows, they're right at the top of the search.
Of course.
And so that makes it easy for my daughter she likes to watch the show, actually.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, she does.
I knew we had at least somebody watching, so that's awesome. There you go. Good stuff.
By the way, I'm picking the Dolphins to win by 9. So Dolphins to cover the spread if you can still get 8.5. Now
What?
the Waddle news,
Without Waddle and everything.
so the Waddle news is a little concerning, but I'm still going to go with Tua Tagovailoa making fewer big mistakes than Zach Wilson. I like Brian Flores and Josh Boyer against the rookie quarterback.
I agree. Is his hot mom coming down? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of when people like put out like things that people sent them on Instagram that are nasty and things like that. I don't know.
Oh, I don't care about nasty. I'm just saying she's a good-looking woman. That's all I'm just saying. She's just a good-looking woman. It's just it's got to be bad
Zach
for.
Wilson is a handsome young man. I saw a picture with him and Christian Pulisic. It was interesting. The Jets are one of the teams that got UK, England as one of their places that they're going to be able to market their team. I can tell you the Miami Dolphins are much more popular in England than the New York Jets.
Oh yeah, by miles, dude. You know how many we have people that are watching right now in England right now. They're constantly reaching out to me about the show and all that. They love the show and all the insiders that we have on the show here. So
I was reminded that the UK is more than England, so people got mad at me about that. People get mad at me a lot, Big O. Sometimes, but that's all right. I got to deal with it.
You think I haven't felt any of that anger in 31 years, my brother?
Mike Gesicki said yesterday he'd like this. He didn't point out these guys, but the Skip Baylesses and the he didn't say Skip Bayless, but we know the Skip Baylesses and the who's the other guy? Colin Cowherds.
Yeah, Cowturd.
He would like them to pick a side on Tua, which is funny because that goes completely against their shtick, and it is a shtick.
Yes.
Those guys literally have shticks.
Yes.
I don't know if the viewers understand that.
Yes.
I'm not a shtick guy. I just kind of try to say what I feel at the moment, and sometimes that opinion and analysis can evolve and even change. But it's not a shtick. It is literally what I think.
You and I are the same thing. Same thing. I say my opinion and period. That's where it ends. It ain't no shtick. I'm not trying to stir it up or anything like that. I say what I feel, and it's over there. All right, Joe, we will talk pregame as we get ready for the Dolphins and the Jets. Appreciate you as always. Have a terrific end of the week, my friend. We will catch up on Sunday.
Good to see you, bud.
You got it. There you go. The great Joe Schad and our American Dream Lending Miami Dolphins report.
This is the Big O Show.